Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 136th episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. It's a hot summer and it's quickly coming to an end, but we got to talk about everything I watched in July. We got a lot of new stuff, some old stuff, but a lot of stuff. But my top five is normal, so like and subscribe, please and thank you. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader, linked in the description below, and let's get into everything I watched in July. Superman 2025, directed by James Gunn. Well, one of the most anticipated movies of the year. I was also anticipating it, not as much as some others. I'm not crazy about Superman, but I do love Superman 78. This movie was pretty good. I trusted James Gunn with the material because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really liked the last few Superman movies I've seen, but this was pretty good. I won't lie, I did think the third act was a little bit clunky, and then it dropped the score for me a little bit, but overall, I did have a good time. If you are a hero fan, I'd absolutely suggest this. I'm going to give Superman a 7.5 out of 10. Fantastic Four First Steps 2025, directed by Matt Shackman. On our new hero game, this film, man, everybody was anticipating this because we wanted to see if they could finally get the Fantastic Four correct, and I believe that they finally have. I had a great time with this movie, I won't lie. I actually enjoyed this more than Superman, to be honest, and I know I'm in the minority there, but it is what it is. I actually enjoyed this a lot. I thought the chemistry between all the leads were really good, and Joseph Quinn, I'm looking at you, bro. I really enjoyed him as Johnny Storm. Pedro as Mr. Fantastic. It was pretty dope. So, if you're, like I said, if you're a superhero fan, I would suggest this. I'm going to give Fantastic Four First Steps. Oh, I also reviewed this, and I'll link that below. So, I'm going to give it what I gave in my review, a 7.8 out of 10. Ratcatcher, 1999, directed by Lynn Ramsey. An interesting coming of age story about a boy who kind of plays a hand in his friend's death. This movie was very strange and very weird, especially in the first half, but I can't lie, it came together very much for me in the end, and I do think it's good. I don't think it deserves some of the praise it's gotten, but I had a good time. If it's a British movie, it's a weird one. So if you're into the weird ones, I would definitely check this out if you haven't. I'm going to give Ratcatcher a 7.4 out of 10. Something Wild, 1986, directed by Jonathan Demme. Before he was terrifying us with films like Silence of the Lamb, he was making fun little, actually kind of scary road trip rom-coms. Jeff Daniels and Melanie Griffith lead this movie with a great performance from Ray Liotta as well, about two weird lost kindred souls who meet each other and take a fun road trip together. It's a Wild Boy. The title is very fitting, but I had a great time with this movie, and I really enjoyed the performances. If you're into road trip films, quirky love stories, I would give this one a watch. I'm going to give Something Wild an 8 out of 10. Fighting with My Family, 2019, directed by Stephen Merchant. This was a pleasant surprise. I remember when this movie came out and I had no interest in it. But I don't know, I was reading some things and this movie kept being mentioned and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just watch it. And I had a pretty good time with it. Florence Pugh gave a great early performance before, Midsummer and all the crazy stuff she's done here in the 2020s. Vince Vaughn giving a good performance. Nick Frost, he's been coming up big. And I love this movie. It was great. It was a good time. Is it the best movie ever? No, but I was far better than I expected. Definitely exceeded my expectations. If you're a wrestling fan, I would definitely check this out. I'm going to give Fighting with My Family an 8 out of 10. Martha, 1974, directed by Rainer Werner Fassbinder. All right, we got our first top five of the month. Martha. Oh my lord, Rainer knows how to knock me on my butt. This movie will make you never want to get married, I'll tell you that. This film is about a woman in her early 30s who wants to get married, and she meets someone who she thinks is perfect and pretty much finds out he is not. This movie was crazy. Absolutely loved it. Beautiful style, beautiful writing, and beautiful direction from one of the GOATs, Werner Fassbinder. Obviously, I would suggest this. He's one of my favorite directors, and this is a top 5. So I'm going to give Martha a 9.5 out of 10. Down with the King, 2021, directed by Diego Ongaro. This is a weird one. Freddie Gibbs, the rapper. I don't know if you guys are into rap music, but if you are, Freddie Gibbs is one of the dopest rappers. And I'm a fan of him. And so I was interested to see this movie that he's in where he's playing a rapper who is kind of fed up with the rap game and he kind of wants out. So he gets a place out in the woods and works on his new album and learns a lot about himself. It was an interesting film. Freddie Gibbs, he gave a pretty decent performance. Now, I'm not saying he was playing against type or anything, but he gave a decent performance. Is it a great movie? No, but I did enjoy myself with it. I'm going to give Down with the King a 6.5 out of 10. Our next top 5 of the month, K-Pop Demon Hunter 2025, directed by Maggie King and Chris Applehans. Okay, I know this is probably a weird one for you to hear me say it was a top 5 of the month, but let me tell you something. I had a blast with this movie. Sony has been killing the animation game for the last few years, and they continue the streak with K-Pop Demon Hunters. I had a great time with this movie. The animation, the humor, the voice acting, the music. I'm not even a K-pop fan, but I've been banging this album at the gym, while I'm skating, while I'm just cruising in my car, everything. I love this album. And it's weird. Now, I'm not saying it's made me a K-pop fan or anything, but I definitely will be watching K-Pop Demon Hunters too. So if you're an animation fan, K-pop fan, definitely check this out. I'm going to give K-Pop Demon Hunters a 9.3 out of 10. Blue Ruin, 2013, directed by Jeremy Saulnier. It's an interesting film. It's about a gentleman who, he's a homeless guy, and he's kind of been hiding out since the death of his father. Well, he finds out the guy who killed his father is getting out of jail, and he wants to seek some revenge. I'm just going to leave it at that. It is a ride, a very interesting film. I did have a good time with it. It's definitely an indie film. It's definitely, it kind of lives in the vein of like Winter's Bone, if you've seen that movie. That's probably the best thing I can compare it to. But I would suggest this if you're a fan of revenge stories. I'm going to give Blue Ruin a 7.5 out of 10. The Funeral, 1984, directed by Juzo Itami. One of the best Japanese directors whose life got cut short. Itami's films are amazing. I've talked about him before. The Funeral is a great film. I have fun with it. It's about a woman whose father dies, and her and her husband, her family, and everyone's getting ready for the funeral, and a lot of things come out during it. It's blueprints for films like Death at a Funeral and stuff like that. But it was absolutely a great film. I had a good time with it. It's not his best film, but it's definitely worth watching. I'm going to give The Funeral an 8.4 out of 10. Next, top 5 of the month, The Harder They Fall, 2021, directed by The Bullets. Man, this film is a fun time, fun Western told from the Black perspective. The cast alone is amazing. I'm not even going to go through everyone who's in it because just look it up yourself. Watch this movie if you haven't seen it. It's amazing. Fun time Western, great revenge story, comic book movie, truthfully. And it plays out really nicely. A lot of style, a lot of flavor. And I love what they did with this film, and I had a great time with it. I would highly suggest this if you're a Western fan, if you're a revenge fan. So I'm going to give The Harder They Fall a 9.1 out of 10. Dirty Dancing, 1987, directed by Emily Ardolino, excuse me. Dirty Dancing, classic film. Of course, I've seen this before, but it had been a very, very, very long time. And it's not a bad film. It's alright. We know what it's about. Baby goes away on a little retreat with her parents, and she meets a rebel outcast dancer. They fall in love. They dance. Fun story. But it's one of those ones. I get why it's so popular, especially if you were around for it when it came out. So if you haven't seen Dirty Dancing, it is one of those movies everyone should probably see before they die. I'm going to give Dirty Dancing 7.1 out of 10. Mo Money, 1992, directed by Peter MacDonald. One of the early Wayans brother movies starring Damon Wayans and Marlon Wayans. Fun little action comedy about a guy who's trying to impress a girl, young Stacey Dash, pre-clueless, so he does some things to get some money. It's a fun little action comedy, man. It's nothing crazy to it, but it's one of those 90s gems that if you liked it when it came out, you liked it. I'm going to give Mo Money a 6.9 out of 10. Oh, and that's what I gave it in my review because I reviewed this for a subscriber, so I'll link that below. The Boy and the Beast, 2016, directed by Mamoru Hosoda. I'm a big Hosoda fan. I like a lot of his movies. The Boy and the Beast was pretty good. I like the concept of it. It's about a boy who his parents die and he runs away and he ends up meeting this beast from a different world essentially, but we're all in the same world. And that beast takes him as his apprentice. So he learns the ways of the beast people, but he also yearns for his human side. And it's a great film. It was a good time. I did have fun with it. There were some things I did not like about it that bothered me, which is gonna impact my score. But if you're an anime fan, I would suggest this to you. I'm going to give The Boy and the Beast a 7.5 out of 10. Pleasantville, 1998, directed by Gary Ross. This was close to making the top 5 of the month. Pleasantville, I haven't seen in a long time, and it is much better than I remember. This film, if you haven't seen it, it's about a kid who's obsessed with this TV show from the 50s, and him and his sister end up going into this town. And I'm going to leave it at that because there is a lot of themes in this movie, and I think this is a movie that everyone should really watch right now, especially with a lot that's going on in the world, particularly in America. So if you haven't seen Pleasantville, I absolutely think this is a must watch. Shoot this to the top of your watch list. I'm going to give Pleasantville an 8.8 out of 10. And shout out to Reese Witherspoon because I've been watching her this month. We're going to talk about her some more. She's incredible. Our next top 5 of the month, Bay of Angels, 1963, directed by Jacques Demy. I am becoming a big Jacques Demy fan. I really am. One of the best out of the French New Wave era. Umbrellas of Cherbourg is one of the best movies of all time, and Bay of Angels is right on its heels. This film was about 2 gambling addicts who meet each other, start an interesting relationship, and this movie shows how addiction can be crippling. And I'm telling you, this is one of the craziest movies about addiction. It has no drugs, no alcohol, no women, or there's women, but no, the addiction isn't women, It's insane. I absolutely love it, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to give Bay of Angels a 9.4 out of 10. Freeway, 1996, directed by Matthew Bright. Really close to making the top 5 of the month. We were talking about my girl Reese Witherspoon earlier. This is a very underground Reese Witherspoon film. Reese Witherspoon plays an alternative young woman who ends up going on the run for various reasons I won't get into and kind of goes crazy. And she is a total badass in this movie. I absolutely love this film. Kiefer Sutherland, can't stand him. He's always a jerk in movies. Great actor. God, man, he's so evil. Love this movie. If you haven't seen this, I would absolutely suggest it. It is a wild ride, and I loved it. I'm going to give Freeway an 8.8 out of 10. The Magician, 1958, directed by Ingmar Bergman. Another really good one that was top five worthy, The Magician. Ingmar, we know how he gets down. He's absolutely probably my favorite director. This film is about a touring act who ends up somewhere they shouldn't be, and they have to kind of con their way out of this situation. And it's just an interesting ride that discusses, spirits, magic, beliefs, all kinds of themes are in this film. Absolutely loved it. Um, Always was a Justin Ingmar movie, so I'm going to give The Magician an 8.7 out of 10. Mystic Pizza, 1988, directed by Donald Petrie. Ugh, I just wanted to watch an old Julia Roberts movie because I just love her so much. Uh, I had seen this movie way back in the day. It's been a really long time. I remember my mom liking this movie. Hey, it's one of those fun little 80s rom-coms. There's some cool parts in it. Julia Roberts is stunning and amazing. And so is the lady who runs the pizza shop. I can't remember her name, but she was in Mr. Deeds, also running a pizza shop, which is probably why he cast her. But uh, I had a good time with it. It's not the best movie ever. I'm not about to give it the best score, but if you are an 80s rom-com fan, chick flick type of guy or girl, put it on. I'm going to give Mystic Pizza a 6.9 out of 10. Flirting, 1991, directed by John Dugan. Old Australian movie starring some Australian actors. We got early Nicole Kidman role, looking beautiful as always. And this film is about a boarding school students, a young black woman and a young white dude who end up kind of falling for each other. And, their love's kind of forbidden, but not why you might think. It was a decent time. It was a fun little 90s movie. It was cool to see an early Nicole Kidman role. Um, I'm gonna, I can't say this would be for everybody, but if you're into high school romance, I would check it out. I'm going to give Flirting a 7.3 out of 10. Three the Hard Way, 1974, directed by Gordon Parks Jr. Blaxploitation film. I wanted to watch this because it stars three of the best blaxploitation actors. Jim Kelly, come on, Jim Brown, one of the best running backs of all time, and and Frederick Williamson. And Fred Williamson, he's always amazing. You might know him from Dusk Till Dawn, playing one of the best characters. I just want to see these guys on screen. This movie isn't that good. It's okay, but it was just nice to see these three guys together, and they had good chemistry, and you can tell they have fun making it. But the movie itself is just all right. It's weird because, man, what it's about these white people, and they're trying to feed all these black people this stuff to kind of eliminate them. It's very They Clone Tyrone-esque, but that movie's just done way better though. But if you're into exploitation films, I'd check it out. Other than that though, I can't say it's the best movie. I'm going to give Three the Hard Way a 6.1 out of 10. Robot Carnival, 1987, directed by a whole bunch of dudes. This movie is a collection of stories, but a collection of anime stories, and they all deal with these robots and AI and stuff. It's actually quite relevant to today, although I didn't think it was the best movie, but there were a few stories in it that I really, really love. The one with the guy who works at the carnival, who ends up flying with the girl, absolutely amazing. That was a great 11, 15 minutes, however long it was. I love that. I was very into that one, but other than that, there was only a couple more I liked. It was okay. I'm going to give Robot Carnival a 6.6 out of 10. Friendship, 2025, directed by Andrew DeYoung. Man, this movie was not what I was expecting. This movie stars Paul Rudd and I can't remember the main dude's name. I'm sorry, his name's missing me right now, but he's an interesting guy. I think he was on SNL or something. But this movie's about a weird guy who ends up becoming friends with his neighbor, but he ends up screwing this friendship up so badly. It's a trippy boy, but I did like a lot of things about it, and I do think it had a lot of value, and it was funny at times. It's weird though, man. It's the weirdest friendship. I just was not expecting this, but this is hard to suggest because this isn't for everyone. But if you're a cinephile, definitely put this on. I'm gonna give Friendship a 7.7 out of 10. The Phoenician Scheme, 2025, directed by Wesley Anderson. Our last top 5 of the month. Yes, I said it. I'm putting it in the top 5. And when I first watched it, I didn't feel as strongly about it after I watched it again. And I watched it on a second watch, and you know what? I really like this movie. This is what I said. It is the paper moon of our time. And I think this is the best movie he's put out in years. This is the best movie. This is his best live action movie since Grand Budapest for sure. So I love this movie. I thought it was great. Benicio is amazing. The girl who plays his daughter, incredible. Michael Cera, very good. And Wes is at the top of his game. If you're a Wes fan, this is for you. If you're not a Wes fan, this is not for you. But I loved it, and I'm going to be revisiting it again soon. I'm going to give The Phoenician Scheme a 9 out of 10. Kiss Me Guido, 1997, directed by Tony Vital. This was a weird LGBT movie. I was supposed to watch it in June, but it slipped to the beginning of July, and it's weird, but it's not that bad, but it's not that great. It's about an Italian American guy who I think he's in the Bronx, maybe. He works at a pizza shop, very stereotyped Italian guy, wears a bunch of gold chains and quotes Rocky and Scorsese movies all day. They just made him very much a caricature of Italian American culture. But he aspires to be an actor, and he wants to move away from his family and everything. So he goes uptown and moves in with a gay guy, and he teaches him about acting. And it's just it's an interesting, LGBT movie about these guys who shouldn't be friends, but they end up working out. It's okay. If you're a deep LGBT fan, I would suggest it. Other than that, probably not. I'm going to give Kiss Me Guido a 6.4 out of 10. Stay Alive, 2006, directed by William Brent Bell. Saw this movie in theaters with my mom back in 2006. Didn't like it then, didn't like it now. This movie is horrible. It's about these guys who play this video game, and the killer in the game is killing people in real life if you play the game and you don't stay alive. Yeah, it's as dumb as it sounds. It's as cheesy of a runner, like, oh my lord, it's bad. It's bad, it's bad. I would not suggest this to you. I am going to give Stay Alive a 4.2 out of 10. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, 2005, directed by Ken Kwapis. Was having summer night and, decided to watch this. This movie, it's not bad. It's decent. I didn't read the books. I know a lot of people like the books, but I enjoyed this film for what it is. It's what you expect. I went into it expecting what I was expecting, and I got what I expected. So I was happy with it. It's a fun time summer movie. Nice little girl chick flick to watch. Not a bad viewing. I'm going to give The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 6.7 out of 10. Camp Nowhere, 1994, directed by Jonathan Prince, sorry. Crazy, I never saw this movie as a kid. Crazy, fun Disney movie starring Christopher Lloyd, where he is running a summer camp for a bunch of degenerate kids who are just going wild. It's 90s as hell. It was fun. I had a great time with this movie. It really brought me back to my childhood. And I would highly suggest this, especially if you're a 90s kid or if you're a 90s fan, if you're a younger kid, a 90s fan. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give Camp Nowhere 7.3 out of 10. Ballerina, 2025, directed by Len Wiseman. John Wick spinoff, had a good time with it, starring my girl Ana de Armas. Love her. She's pretty good in sci-fi action movies. She's enjoying a nice little career. This was a fun little spinoff. Action freaking packed, man. This thing had so much action and it was crazy. I had a good time. I would suggest it to you for sure if you're a John Wick fan or an action fan. I'm going to give Ballerina an 8 out of 10. Strange Way of Life, 2023, directed by Pedro Almodovar. Fun LGBT movie with Pedro Pascal and Ethan Hawke, two of the best of their generation. Crazy thing is a short film. It's only 30 minutes, and that's the main and only problem with it. I needed an hour more. This movie was great. About these two Western men. It's a Western. These two Western men who've had a secret little relationship, and things come out, and it's just a good time. Check it out. It's only 30 minutes. I'm going to give Strange Way of Life an 8.3 out of 10. I Like Movies, 2023, directed by Chandler Levesque. I like movies. Speaks to my soul. I love movies, actually. And this movie is a film that I can relate to a lot. It's about a kid who works in a video store who has dreams of directing films and going to film school. Something I always thought about. I did work in a video store. Unfortunately, I did not go to film school. I went to school for something else. But it all ties into what I'm doing. So I love this movie. I thought it was great. Great film out of Canada. Good coming of age story. If you're a movie fan, this is a great film about movies. It's for movie fans. I'm going to give I Like Movies an 8.5 out of 10. First Man, 2018, directed by Damien Chazelle. Ryan Gosling playing Neil Armstrong, the man who allegedly landed on the moon. No, I'm kidding. We'll talk as if these are facts. Neil Armstrong first got to land on the moon. Damien Chazelle made a great, fun sci-fi biopic story, and I think this was very well made. I like the visual effects. The acting was good. I had a great time with it. I'm going to give First Man an 8.5 out of 10. Happy Gilmore 2, 2025, directed by Kyle Newacheck. Now, I am a huge fan of the original Happy Gilmore. I saw it in theaters when I was very, very young with my mother. Good memories, good first core memories. This film, I enjoyed it. I did, and I know a lot of people didn't. I know a lot of people dogged it. And I saw from the reviews and things like that. And I get it, man. It's a reboot sequel of an old movie from it's 30 years old. And did we need it? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. I'm an Adam Sandler fan. So you can hate me for that or not. But it's got a ton of cameos in it. It's silly, goofy fun. It's fun because they bring it to modern times. And, I liked it. All right? Don't judge me. I'm going to give Happy Gilmore 2 a 7.2. out of 10. Last but not least, Death of a Unicorn, 2025, directed by Alex Sharfman. This film, Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd. I had no idea that this movie was going to be a unicorn horror film. This movie exposed, what I liked about this movie are some of the things, how it exposes human nature and some of the people who have power and how they act in certain situations. And I thought it was very relevant to today. But there was a lot of things I didn't like. It was weird, man. It threw me off a little bit at times. But overall, I did enjoy it for the most part. And I think some of the themes are strong enough that warrants this a watch. So I'm going to give Death of a Unicorn a 6.9 out of 10. Guys, thank you so much for watching my Everything I Watched in July. Let me know what you watched down below. Let me know if there's a film or topic you'd like me to review. If you made it this far, you must have enjoyed yourself, so like and subscribe. Help me hit my goal, 800 subs by the end of summer. Thank you so much. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. It's linked below. We're having a ton of fun over there. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. I'll be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.